How much better are we at treating COVID now compared to 5 months ago? I hear that the antibodies plasma treatment is giving pretty good results. Do we have better treatment of symptoms as well? Thank you. I see you, Doc, in New Orleans. We realized pretty quickly that this isn't a disease that will resolve in a week. Not uncommon to care for a patient who's been on the ventilator for a month or longer. Use much more therapeutic anticoagulation than we did when we started. We pay close attention to the function of the kidneys when a patient is in respiratory failure. Oftentimes we feel relieved if the patient is still making urine but are intubated on a ventilator. Outcomes are much more favorable. Everyone gets steroids and remdesivir. We've been proning for severe ARDS the entire time. Personally, I haven't seen a significant change in mortality, but that's because I don't deal with the stable patients on the floor. We've adapted to using NIV pretty quickly at our institutions, so we didn't have too many patients that were intubated for requiring greater than 6 lpm oxygen. I think the biggest change in mortality, if there is one, between March and now would have to be because we are more hesitant to do something that harms the kidneys, and we've recognized that sometimes these people require 6 weeks or more on the ventilator. If there is indeed microbial life on Venus producing phosphine gas, is it possible the microbes came from Earth and were introduced at some point during the last 80 years of sending probes? I wonder if a non-sterile probe may have left Earth, have all but the most extremophile, adaptable microbes survive the journey, or microbes capable of desiccating in the vacuum of space and rehydrating once in the Venusian atmosphere, and so already adapted to the life cycles proposed by Seeger et al. 2020 https://archive.org/abs/2009.06474. No, in the paper they looked at that possibility and there is simply not enough time for the quantity of phosphine seen. This doesn't mean that if there is life in the atmosphere that it couldn't have originated from Earth via an impact event, but all probes we have sent have been too recent. Solar panels directly convert sunlight into electricity. Are there technologies to do so with heat more efficiently than steam turbines? I find it interesting that turning turbines has been the predominant way to convert energy into electricity for the majority of the history of electricity. There are thermoelectric devices that can convert a heat differential directly to electricity. Peltier device. Edit. The Seebeck effect generates electricity. The Peltier effect is the reverse. Same device though, or motion, Stirling engine, but these are actually not as efficient as steam, at least at scale. If you wanted to charge your phone off a cup of hot coffee, sure, use a Peltier device. But it probably isn't going to be powering neighborhoods. Is there a physiological basis to the change in food tastes, preferences as you grow up? I grew up despising the taste of coriander, cilantro to many. It tasted like soap and ruined food, so I'd specifically request for it to be removed from any recipes at home or in restaurants where possible. Last week I tried it again and absolutely loved it. Feel like I've missed out this last 15 years or so. I wonder at what stage during that 15-year period I would have started to like it. Edit. I'm 25 years old if that has any relevance. Children tend to be more sensitive to bitterness, which is apparent in foods like broccoli and Brussels sprouts. This is an evolved defense mechanism, because poisons are often bitter tasting. As we grow, we learn which foods are poisonous and which aren't, so we don't need the same sensitivity, and through evolutionary pressure, we lose the sensitivity over time. The more foods that are available to eat, the higher the chance of survival, as long as we know to avoid the poisons. https://www.ncbi.nlm.nih.gov/pmc/articles/pmc4654709/. How does the Higgs boson and top quark mass help us infer the stability, metastability of the universe? I'm just an aficionado, so try to keep it dumbed down, please. All articles I've seen state that the mass of the Higgs and the top quark seem to be on the limit between stability and metastability, although it still hasn't been confirmed. My question is not regarding in which state the universe is, but why does this measurements relate to it? Why does it mean that if the masses of these particles was different, then the universe will be in another state of stability, instability, metastability, non-perturbability? In short, where do the regions of this https://www.quantumdiaries.org/wp-content/uploads/2013/02/graphies-m%c3%a9 tastable1.jpg chart come from, and why are they there? Also, what does the non-perturbability region mean? And #X200B, thanks. And #X200B, edit, I see lots of shadow banned people here. I used to be an experimental particle physicist, even did a Higgs-based analysis as part of my PhD, but I've forgotten so much theory now. Can somebody explain what the actual mechanism is for the Higgs dropping to a lower energy if it's not already in the ground state? Where does the energy actually go? Like for an electron in an excited state, it would radiate a photon to return to the ground state. What's the equivalent process for this kind of drop in potential?